This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Shit was clutch, right?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to That One Piece Talk. My name is Larry.
Lawrence, Lionel,
Seb.
And this is That One Piece Talk, where we talk One Piece. Welcome to episode 84 of our show. Thank you so much for being here early as you are. We appreciate every single one of you. So, arigato. We are not going to get into any announcements because I want to get into this chapter as quickly as possible. But I will announce one thing. I did have a theory video I dropped on my personal YouTube, and it is a banger for sure. It questions your morality. It really does. Basically, it's titled Why the Ancient Kingdom Needed to be Wiped Out. And it's a pretty good video. So I'm pretty proud of it. So go check that out if you haven't already. My YouTube link is in the video description below.
Other than Larry blowing up.
Sorry. Who we have in the chat, man?
We got a lot of people in
Let's
here.
say
man. Hi. We got Ryunosuke, Aaron Tate, Gadi Usopp, Edwin C, Peanut Butter Wave and Wavers, Jose Zamudio, Ruthless Ray, Bait the Dust, Chance Rainey, General 30th, Straw Hat Nate, Stream Elements, no, I'm kidding. Brandon Wigfall, James Hudson, Young Sam, so many on here. I Hate Mo, Teach, Juan Carlos, Gabriel Montoya. There's so many people in here, man. Encrave. I swear I always say that name wrong, man.
It's all right, bro.
Lucky, yeah. DK Rayleigh, Nerd Taku, what's up, nerd? Ronald Chris. Yo, I got a funny story about Chris, man. Chris an idiot. Villain, Winston Quintero, Shandi Wandi, so many of y'all, man. We really appreciate y'all being here with us.
Yes.
For real.
Thank you so much, guys.
Lucky said it's his first time catching us live.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Josh O in the chat, man. What up, Josh? And what's up, Lucky? Appreciate first-time viewers, man.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Live
Thank you.
viewers.
Appreciate you, man. Hope you have fun. Don't follow the herd.
I'm sure he's familiar with the cast in general.
I mean, being in the live chat though,
it's a little different.
Yeah. James Hudson with the $2. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, hashtag Larry has bad takes. Hashtag I'm finally back. Welcome back from your vacation, James. Love to see the negativity. All right. So I don't want to skip any time, guys, because I know this chapter is a heavy one, and we got 4 people today. So I think it's only right we just start immediately. All right. So for the One Piece cover story, One Piece chapter 1072 is upon us. The cover story is where we'll start off. The title of this chapter is called The Weight of Memory. We see a young Caesar, Queen, and Judge. Caesar is holding a devil fruit, Queen is holding flasks with liquid in them, and Judge is holding a weapon. Then in quotations at the bottom of the cover says, mass-produced weapons of slaughter. What are your thoughts on this cover story, guys? And we'll hit with Lionel first.
I don't really have that much on this cover story. We know Vegapunk isn't there, so clearly it might have been like where they drift off, or they did their own thing without Vegapunk, because they are the 3 evils. Well, Vegapunk is like the good in a way compared to all 3 of them, even though he has his own evil side to him. I did notice that Queen gained some weight from the last time we seen him, so I think it's actually a time span of when we first saw them with the band look till now. I think obviously a time elapsed. Like even Judge looks a little different. Caesar still looks crazy as usual. But yeah, I think this could lead to the weapons that we see now. Maybe like with Queen, with those things, could have maybe made his other weapons with I don't know how long it took him to make the Oni virus, but it could lead to that. Him already like again with Caesar with his fruit, him trying to make his own fruit, whether that's connection with Big Mom and the Giants, I'm not exactly sure. And Judge, I don't know, he just looks like he has his unique weapon, but they don't really show evidence of him with the science right now with him with the lineage factor and him making the clones. Like, we don't get that much about it, but they look funny, all crazy looking. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty dope scene, but yeah, I didn't have that much on it.
All right, Seb.
I thought it was cool. It's nice to see them in their natural element of just being scientists. I do want to say this. We give Judge a lot of credit for being one of the top tier scientists. In this moment, he looks trash because I got Caesar to the left making a artificial devil fruit, and I got Queen in the back making plagues of some sort, and you just got your spear that like what is this, bro? This is nothing compared to what they have in their hands right now. It's a spear that can charge some electricity on it. That's nothing, bro. I do want to point out that they ain't no Vegapunk or likely 𝙑𝙪 in this picture, so you know what I'm saying. You feel me? They out doing the thing while they out here trying to work and do whatever they doing. But you know me, the Vegapunk x 𝙑𝙪 agenda will never die. I don't care what happened in this chapter, bro. I don't care what happened in this chapter, Lionel. Go ahead, Lord.
Anyway, it's not. I didn't think about it much, but Lionel just bring up the point: the fact that Queen gained weight. It could show that a lapse of time here. What I'm just gonna point out, because I don't want to cover too much on this cover page. To me, this is approaching the moment to where the match split up, right? That's my thought. We all know is pretty much that the lineage factor started with Vegapunk, so to speak, and to me, this is where they all start drifting away, but they kind of get their own piece of information of the lineage factor, and they kind of start splitting ways, because you can see kind of what they want to use it for. We really, especially with this chapter, you kind of see what Vegapunk was trying to use with the lineage factor, what his goals were trying to pursue with that, and these ones mass produce weapons of slaughter, so they have their own agenda as well. Vegapunk trying to work for the better of mankind. These people have their own selfish agenda, and that's a smile fruit, which most likely it is for Caesar. What Queen is doing, I don't really know, but we know that we're ending up with him. He makes, thank you. He makes, kind of what was it, biological warfare and tampering with human people like himself. And Judge, he takes it. We see what he does later on. So I think this is kind of the stepping stones, either the beginning or the end, where the Mads are about to split up. This is what kind of finally what we see together is what I got from it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Larry?
From me, when I saw it. The first person that caught my interest in the cover story was Caesar. One, because the devil fruit doesn't look like a smile fruit. So I wonder what devil fruit that is. And then two, he has the cloak around him that resembles an awakening, right? And I know that people were stating that Caesar has had this cloak before, but I just don't remember it because I've always seen him with the robe that he had that said gas on the back.
He's had the little...
I just don't remember it. But they said that it was there. Yeah. If so, this was the first awakened Logia that we're seeing. If it's true, because when we seen the Paramecias, they don't have those cloaks, right? They just affect the environment. Well, this probably means that there's multiple levels to awakening, and that was my first thought. Caesar's the first Logia we've ever seen awakened officially, but he has a different type of awakening where he could probably still infect the environment, and maybe Paramecias can also do that too. They just haven't unlocked that type of form, which means they're kind of maybe they all resemble mythical Zoans to a degree, or maybe just Zoans in general. Maybe the devil fruit classes are more alike than we thought. And that was my first initial reaction. The devil fruit part, I really want to know what devil fruit that is, because that is not a smile devil fruit. When we seen smile devil fruits appear, they didn't look like that. They just had swirls on them, and they were just regular purple. So I'm very curious as to what devil fruit that is. And a piece of me wants to theorize about something that happens later in the chapter, but I'll save it for later if I remember. Yeah. Cool aspect, noticing that, Queen did gain a little bit of weight. He's probably living pretty good, if you ask me. But what's interesting is I think he's probably creating a version of the 𝐼𝐸 virus within the flasks. And I thought that was pretty cool. I know Judge looks the weakest right here, but there's one thing I liked about Judge and the way he looked. He's wearing a suit and tie just like Sanji.
Yeah.
And it shows that's probably how Sanji dresses according to like how he likes to look. He sort of resembles some of his father's attributes of his personality, because we all have like personality traits of our dads and our moms, right? That's probably something, you know, a lot of people didn't say, but I thought that was a nice touch. But he definitely looks like weird.
He had a suit on in the last last cover story.
Yeah.
1070, he had a suit.
Oh, I just didn't remember it then. Yeah. I think I was too focused on Vegapunk and the way he looked compared to everybody else. But yeah, he does have. Well, he doesn't have the tie.
He doesn't have the tie.
Yeah, he doesn't have the tie. And then one more thing. I know that, I think Sebastian mentioned this or Lionel, but the lineage factor doesn't look like it's taken place. Because if so, then Judge would have been working on that instead of just weapons, because that's not his main source of science. So that was a nice touch. But overall, dope cover story, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, this is the same cover story. Is it not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's technically the same cover story from
It might be the longest
Caesar
one,
enough,
honestly.
Yeah. All right, we got some super chats. Let's hit those first, and then we'll go to the next thing.
We got $3.50 from Neeks G. It says, even in NZ, we know Larry has bad takes. Hashtag Sigma Sev. I love that. Sigma Sev. Yo, Charles would love that, man. Yo, he just got to Nothing Happened.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Dope scene.
He was messing with
What
it.
is New Zealand known for? I don't even know. Is it like cheese or water wheels?
New Zealand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord
of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Marv just saying stuff. We got a $5 super
The whole
chat.
country has bad taste. All right.
From Rita Kosuke. It says, yo, what's good, guys? What if that fruit is real and they just used its lineage factor for an experiment?
Yeah. So, I want to get to that a little bit later, if you don't mind. I'll answer it. Thank you, though. Yeah.
And we got another $15 super chat from Shandi Wandi. It says, let's go. Chapter was heat. Good to see the whole crew keep killing it, lads. Hashtag Buggy Gang.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
man.
Much
All
love.
right.
Oh, we got Mosh in the chat. What up, Mosh?
Let's go
Mash,
to the next
sup?
one. All right. So as we open up the chapter, we are presented with dialogue. It says, even if the world doesn't agree, I know that she is a living, breathing person. A true and undeniable human being. It was a success. I am certain of it. And this is one great step toward the creation of world peace. Then we see a child, Bonnie, on the floor crying. Vegapunk, being concerned, thinks she's hurt and asks for a medical team. Bonnie is faking her pain and grows back into an adult, but this time yells out, distorted future. She grows big and attacks Vegapunk. Vegapunk tells Bonnie that killing him won't, and before he could finish, she hits him with a move called Age Skewer. Vegapunk has jewels pop out of his stomach, and then he turns into a child. Vegapunk acts as if those jewels are supposed to be his age, and she tells him her power doesn't work on living things indefinitely. Then she asks why he killed her father, and he says, if I tell you, then the scene cuts. What did you guys think about this opening? And we'll start with Lawrence.
I thought the opening was pretty interesting because I was like when he was saying this, I saw Bonnie. I go, they better not be talking about Bonnie. I'm sorry, but I was like only because it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Right. So when I'm reading, I was like, no, that was just a kind of like a flashback into what was happening, and then Bonnie's like reality, like what's happening currently now. Right. So then at first I was like, there's no way it's Bonnie, but I was thinking, please don't be Bonnie because I kind of wanted it to be different, like Kuma's, like Kuma's forehead front, and then Bonnie. I was like, this. I'm trying to put it together in my head, but it didn't make sense. Later, we found out what it is, right? So moving on to like Bonnie being concerned. Vegapunk being concerned about Bonnie. So now, the phrase she used, I thought it was interesting. Distorted future, right? Made me think of, for example, you know how Oda, when he draws like the older versions of, like, for example, the Straw Hats. Mm-hmm. When it could go good or when it could go bad, right? Yeah. And then funny how we saw later on, when Bonnie turned Luffy older, he resembled about Luffy old age when he went bad, right? So it made me think of, with that link, I wonder if Bonnie, in a way, like, she could kind of not really control your future because obviously she can't hold it for long, but like make you age in a way. And Oda kind of gave us a hint through that, you know, like yours could go bad or bad because like distorted future. So that means kind of like what's the real future. She can make you age towards like how she chooses a good future or a bad future depending on what you want. So she can make you age. Oh no, it went well for you. So I'm gonna give you like, you know, you're gonna look good or you're gonna be strong. No, or I can age you. No, you're gonna be weak and fragile. It's gonna go bad for you. So it's like Bonnie has control of how she can age. It's not like, oh, you're old and that's it. She can change what the state of your old age, or the, you know, you get what I'm saying? The state of how you look when you're older. So that's how I took the distorted future move there. So I thought that was very interesting there. And then, this kind of kills your theory, Sebastian.
Never.
It does.
Never, ever,
it does.
ever.
Sebastian had the whole way. I don't like the name of it, but the erection plan of how the girls say that the girls say wanted Bonnie to age them down.
Yeah.
Right? But if it doesn't hold them indefinitely, it wouldn't matter. Like, they would have to keep getting, you know.
Listen, man.
So
with Awakenings, there's stuff she could do. There's things that they can make happen.
Yeah.
And it would be the reason why they need her to continue to do this. It does not negate the erection plan, but go on.
Yeah. And I find it weird because now this has to be something new because we saw Bonnie use her ability pre-time skip. Right? With the Marines. We didn't see this stuff there. You know what I'm saying? These, what Vegapunk knows, these shining materials out of his, right? She turned a bunch of people, old and young, to infants.
Yeah.
Right? But now, how come we're seeing this with Vegapunk? You know, these materials from what she turned him into. And also, too, I guess it could be different because she stabbed Vegapunk with it, or the other one, she kind of, I guess, just maybe omitted something. She didn't stab everybody. So now it's like, it's interesting how her ability works, where it's kind of confusing. I want to know if Vegapunk, if he eats those, does he get back those years? Like, if it did,
like if he was to touch those things,
or if they destroy him, does Vegapunk lose that? You know, because now her the age, she's like, if those things represent his experience, if they're destroyed, does Vegapunk's experience in a way, like age wise, get destroyed with that? You know, so that rules questions for me because now they're materialized, they're tangible. You could touch them. Yeah. You could see them. So that means that if they're affected, does that affect the person who it took it from? You know? And and that's where we stopped off here. Because I got a little annoyed with Vegapunk here only because you said you were going to tell her, and then now when she say, all right, finally listen, you're going to tell me, you're kind of backing off now. So it's like...
Well, he said he has something to tell her. He didn't say it was this
But he said, let me explain. In the beginning, let me explain. Now we finally want to hear it, and then you're like, nah, I can't tell you because it's going to hurt you. I'm like, nah, no wonder Bonnie would get upset. You know, like, you're kind of backtracking on your words here. But yeah, that's all I have for now.
All right.
Check out.
Seb?
I thought it was really funny, actually. And Larry, you forgot to mention that Vegapunk was the one in that quote, and that it said director of MAD's Laboratory for Peace. Yeah, I thought that was interesting because it's like, everybody in there was evil as hell, except maybe Vegapunk. He even fringe evil. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're called this Laboratory for Peace, and it's like nobody's doing anything that's helping anybody. But I thought that was fun. The distorted future was cool. It gave her the type of body that Kuma has, which I thought was really funny. She's supposed to be his daughter or whatever. So it's like, she resembled Kuma to me, where she's super top heavy and super small legs. I thought that was really funny. I thought the same thing Lawrence was thinking about, like the physical or tangible lifespan that she was like popping out. It could just be Oda trying to be more quacky with the fruit. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have all this stuff ironed out for the fullest pre-time skip. So I don't think it's too much that we should be able to be looking into that. But like maybe I was trying to look to see if he even touched them. I think you were too when Lawrence was saying that, but I don't know. I like the whole Bonnie, Vegapunk, Kuma dynamic right now because I'm really interested to see where it goes. Like I think you ended there, so I won't go further. Yeah. But I'm really interested to see where that goes. So I'll give it to Lionel.
On what you guys are saying, but I do remember. I don't remember Bonnie saying a name attack pre-time skip. These are the first times Bonnie actually saying what she's actually doing. Like pre-time, she saw when she turned the Marines into kids. They were just kids. We didn't see her say anything. We didn't see her do any actions. They were just kids already. So that was just not shown to us. And like now we're actually giving named attacks to these things. So I think that's what's a little different. The only question I have is why is Bonnie's form changing? Like, because Darna, she only could like either decrease or increase her age. But now she could even increase in size of herself and even give her strength. So it's weird with her abilities. Like if she could age herself and make her older and younger, yeah. But now she's even able to change the muscle mass and form of herself. So it's just like her ability is different than we thought it was now. Like a little more. It's not just aging or like, you know. So maybe it could be a point that she could not just age your body, but age maybe the muscle mass in your body. So it could be a lot bigger than or mature inside herself than in other ways. That would be pretty dope. That'd be pretty dope. That you could actually age the muscle mass that to a more mature person. That now you get that mature strength. That would be pretty dope if she could do that too. I thought it was kind of interesting that Vegapunk's age were like stars and like, you know, like stars and clouds and even a heart. And I was trying to think I don't think they're gonna expand on that, but what if they mean something? Like the heart is something specific to Vegapunk's age or during that time. I'm not going to the _thing because like the heart and his love and the romantic stuff. That's just I don't know. But like I just thought like these could be something for a reason. But I don't know. Like the ability's really vague and we don't fully know about Bonnie's ability like that. But I thought this scene was dope. Seeing more Bonnie of being developed of what she's capable of and being more of like instead of like I'm just gonna kill Vegapunk. Now I'm having more of a reason. Like I want the answers, and again we want the answers too. I thought that was a little more satisfying. Make her less annoying than she started to become. You know. But yeah, I'm not gonna touch on the opening thing because I think that's for a later time. But yeah.
All right. For me, when I was looking at the Bonnie and Vegapunk dynamic, I also liked it. I do want to see where this goes. I think it happens to be the most interesting part of the chapter besides people who want to see certain matchups for later in the chapter. And I love the fact that Kuma's front and center of this right now. It makes Egghead really important because these are answers that we've been waiting hundreds of chapters for. So every time we get a little bit more, it makes me want even more than that little bit. When I started to notice that Bonnie grew in size and then she turned into like Kaido in his drunken angry phase, I said to myself, this is pretty weird. One, why it's weird? I thought back to the beginning of the chapter when Vegapunk was talking about a successful clone and the fact that he can like actually clone devil fruits as well. I started to think about like Vegapunk, his words, and also the power that he's been displaying that seems to be more than just one devil fruit. The one he just turned invisible, but he keeps saying 𝘓𝑚, right? So I started to think maybe he copied his own devil fruit and turned it into what Bonnie has currently if she is a clone, because when he says 𝘓𝑚, that's usually a callback, I think, to who he's supposed to reference as a character, and that character is supposed to be Einstein in real life. And Einstein's whole thing was mathematics, which he then said quantum mechanics and quantum physics and things of that nature, which is just basically unpredictable things that happen, and no matter what, we can't predict it. And then it went into even further rabbit hole of the quantum realm, which is something that happens in the Ant-Man within Marvel's universe, where he can tap into certain energies that produce certain things. So I'm like, okay, so maybe this is all time reference-wise, right? And that fits Bonnie's devil fruit so perfectly, because if she is able to change form and gain different abilities, it might be through all the different parallel universes that she exists in, and she can tap into those. So where she's as strong as somebody like Kaido, or she can actually become the Joy Boy because she tapped into that universe where she was the Joy Boy. Because quantum realms are, basically infinite parallel universes.
It's funny you say that because we were talking about that when she had changed Luffy and Jinbei and them into different ages, and it was like an alternate future or whatever. So like it would be wild if it was because of what you just said. Like it's like a fraction of like Vegapunk's ability in some way. I don't know. I mean, to the whole Bonnie could be a clone thing, like I think O'Hara is pushing that now. Like I think it's one of his theories. But like the way that Vegapunk phrases some things that come later in this chapter, it could.
Well, I'm not touching base on anything after this. I'm just saying what we have right now that I'm talking about. So like if that dialogue does come to her, I think that maybe it is a form of whatever devil fruit he had that he also possesses now. But to know that Bonnie can just tap into these parallel universes would make her extremely, extremely OP. Like, she can be like the Kaido of one universe or Big Mom of one universe. Like, if she can tap into this and just, like, I don't see why she would use the specific name for her move, Distorted Future.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she might be even tapping into the future of herself, which she's a little bit stronger. And she does look like Kuma at a very old age. And the one person that looks built like Kuma a little bit, but she's like super small, is the Don. The Don is like, Dada. she's top heavy with like the little legs. Yeah. So I was just like, maybe that's it. When I saw that Vegapunk had like the jewels pop out of him, Jewelry Bonnie. Her name is Jewelry. Okay. So that's like a foreshadow, I guess. Yeah. But most of all, it made me think of like Lucky Charms. In a way. It does look like Lucky Charms. And I'm gonna be honest, I thought that Vegapunk as a child was pretty cute. I was like, he's a pretty cute kid, man.
His tongue is all out.
Yeah, why is he still missing his hair, though?
well, I mean, he cut, like, the head is popped up.
Yeah.
Like, it's in, like, apple form.
Yeah, but I'm really excited to see what happens. I think, even after this chapter, I think it's just going to keep getting more interesting. So, let's read those super chats.
Yeah, we did a couple super chats sitting. We got another $3.50 from Neeks. G, it says, we're known for knowing Larry has the worst taste. Oh, man. Apparently they don't have kangaroos. Because I put
I was going to say,
in the chat.
Isn't New Zealand, like, super cold?
I don't know anything about New Zealand, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. Clearly, I thought they had kangaroos there. We got another $5 super chat from Monkey D. Shin. It says, pretty sure that the Gorosei got the immortality surgery done to them from past user. Oda wouldn't put it into the story for no reason. What y'all think about that?
From past user.
I don't know, man.
I don't know if I would like it if all of them got that. Nah, I think you reserve that for maybe just him.
Yeah, just
you know
him,
what I mean?
Yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of wild for all 5 of them too.
Yeah, that would be.
Would that be from like Law's ability or Bonnie's?
Law. Just a past user, yeah, Bonnie. Okay. Because they were debating the erection plan.
Okay.
Stuff, Anyway, we got another $5 from Terrible TJ. It says, what happens if a Devil Fruit user eats another Devil Fruit user? What happens if someone who ate a Smile Fruit also ate a Devil Fruit? It's hard to say. Like, I just don't even, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to, they'd probably die. I don't know. Like, it's
I don't think they'd still be okay. I mean,
somebody had to try it for the rumor to start in that way. You know what I mean? Or at least maybe the world government spread that out as propaganda to make sure nobody was just doubling and tripling up on Devil Fruits. But, like, somebody tried it. Somebody forced somebody to try it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I don't know.
Because, like, remember what we first heard about it, real quick, is they're like parasites that they would battle each other. But now we're finding out they're more of people's, like, dreams. So then that takes away from the parasites that would fight against each other because they're the dreams. So that means you could probably eat one if you're strong enough to take it. Because if they also have their own, like, disposition, you may not be able to handle two. Thank you. Be able to eating multiple ones at once. All that.
That's real, but, like, technically that's a hypothesis that Vega has. That's a theory.
Yeah.
Like, it's not confirmed that it's dreams, right?
So it will most likely be that it would probably be safe so people wouldn't eat multiple ones that you can't eat it, that you would probably die. Yeah. Or maybe someone who wasn't strong enough could eat it. Maybe it takes a certain person to eat both.
Who knows? Blackbeard will tell us. We got a $2 super chat from Yonosuke. It says, second to what Shin said, I've always thought that, though. That's in regards to the immortality surgery.
Yeah.
We got a 10-month membership to Nakama from our guy Oz the Phenom. It says, we in this bit. What's up, boys? What up, Oz?
Damn, Oz. Almost 12 months. Thank you, bro.
Glad to have you in here, man.
Thank you, Oz.
Thank you.
And then we got $2 super chat from Usopp's Nose. It says, love the stream. # Larry has decent taste. There you go. You get there.
I'm glad we're moving up, bro.
We got another $2 from Yonosuke. It says, Larry, it's Quasar. I wanted to say that so bad, but you were like giving...
What did I say? Quasar?
Quasar. Yeah, it's Quasar.
Oh, Quasar.
Like the stars.
Yeah. My bad.
We got another $2 from Terrible TJ. It says hashtag Larry has some good takes. We going up. We going up.
We're going up. We're going up. My stock is going up.
We got another $5 from Party Pete. It says just got here, but just want to remind everyone hashtag Lucci Larry. We going back down. We going back down.
Going back down.
Oh man, we got another $5 from Monkey D. Shin. It says so Bonnie can change someone's hockey prowess is the conclusion I'm gonna go with because if Luffy is old, can he use his hockey the way he uses it now?
Nah.
Right?
He wouldn't be.
Because Whitebeard and Rayleigh both showed that they were limited with their hockey abilities.
Yeah.
But that goes into the thing. If Luffy could just use his hockey to negate Bonnie's thing, then,
Like what Law did.
Yeah. Like I do understand if he's already old age, can he do that now? Can he negate it? That's the question, which I'm not sure because you're affected.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, because like the Whitebeard thing was an illness thing.
Yeah.
So like unless you get an illness with the old age, like I don't know that.
That'd be wild if she could give you an illness and old age. That'd be crazy.
Why not?
Well, this is the thing.
Distorted future.
This is why I was saying like she might have a top 3 ability now. Like if all the things that we suspect she may be able to do, like what Shin said and what like I referenced, like bro, there's no telling what she could do. The only thing that would actually be above her still, I think in terms of just like power, would be the gravity fruit. Just because gravity to a sense can stop time or slow it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if we're talking in terms of like science, like there's probably nobody else that could honestly beat her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's what's so crazy about her ability right now for me.
It's crazy how you find some abilities that kind of coincide with each other. Like they're kind of like similar. Like you mentioned the gravity, right? But then also if you think of darkness or black holes, it's also gravity, right? And then you think of later on, I wanted to mention it, but like Kuma's ability. But if you really think about it, it kind of matches up with from what we read Law's ability, right? Because they talked about.
Oh, come on, bro.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
can we wait?
Yeah.
All right.
okay.
Thank you.
But yeah.
Next.
That was all for the super chats.
That was all?
Yeah.
All right. We're doing pretty good on time, honestly. Thank you, guys. We could probably get to calls.
Trying to be back. Trying to be back.
All right, so we cut back to the red port where Kuma is climbing the red line. In the background, Vegapunk says that if he tells Bonnie why he killed Kuma, it'll only hurt her. She replies, why would it hurt her? And Vegapunk replies that he made a promise to Kuma, and that promise was that he'd never tell her the reason why. Bonnie slams child Vegapunk against a canister and asks him if he thinks she's an idiot. Vegapunk responds that the decision to take his free will away was actually Kuma himself. Bonnie doesn't believe it. Vegapunk feels regret over it. He then goes on about Kuma being a great man and how much he loved Kuma. That's why he can't tell her. Bonnie slams him to the ground and says she can't accept that. Then we hear a beep. Bonnie looks and Vegapunk is flabbergasted. Bonnie walks over to it and Vegapunk demands that she doesn't, since it has nothing to do with Kuma. Then she opens the door with a paw print that resembles Kuma's paw print on it and sees a huge Kuma paw print bubble, the same one we saw on Thriller Bark. Vegapunk tells Kuma, Vegapunk remembers his conversation with Kuma. Vegapunk tells Kuma that a scholar in the West Blue stated that when people pass, they lose 21 grams of weight, which means the soul actually exists. But not only does Kuma's powers take pain and give it form, but hypothetically, he can even do the mind, the heart, or even memories. Kuma says he won't do that, then Vegapunk begs him. Vegapunk tells Bonnie that she shouldn't touch that since it's pain, and Bonnie says she knows her father's powers well, and that's his memories. What did you guys think about all of this? And we'll start with Seb this time.
Yeah, I thought this was great. I really did. Like even just the conversation she's having with Vegapunk while they're like showing the juxtaposition of Kuma being attacked by the Marines at the Red Port while he's trying to climb the red line. It's just it's one of those like One Piece type things that happen where it starts pulling on your heartstrings a little bit. It's like, yo, she's really trying to find these answers. Vegapunk's really trying to be a good friend to his best, like somebody who he worked with, a colleague, and like he's also doing all like this is happening to him. Like he's still suffering and stuff. So I thought that was really dope. I loved Bonnie using her ability to age the lock on the door because Lawrence was just talking about like the devil fruits be reminiscent of other devil fruits. Like we've seen like 2 or 3 fruits do something like that.
The Rust guy from the Marines.
Rust, even just Shinobu when she was aging like the ground and stuff. Like I love seeing that. Like the versatility of devil fruits. I'll always love that. It's one of the reasons why I hate Kinemon's devil fruit. Like I don't see the versatility. Like I need something. But anyway, and the fact that like she saw this and recognized it as memories specifically. I mean, she had to have seen something like this before, right? At least that's where my mind went. The flashback that they had with Kuma, I thought that was really dope. The West Blue Scholar, I don't remember who I was talking to this about. I think it might have been Chris, or I talked to you, but I got it from somebody else. I think it was Chris. That's probably Hoback. Like, because he's from West Blue, he was doing studies on dead bodies and stuff. Like, he has a very similar vibe with Vegapunk, with what we'll learn later as far as women and bodies, whatever. But in general, like, I think that's Hoback that he's talking about with the weight, losing 21 grams, which is interesting because that's a thought process that people have put into like real life and studies that they've done. And that picture of Kuma, where he's like, you want me to embarrass myself? He reminded me of Sengoku. I have no idea why, but that reminded me of Sengoku when he made that face. But ultimately, I'm so hyped. I don't think I've ever been this hyped for Kuma's flashback. I was always interested in it. Like, I wonder what the reason was, but I was always like, it'll probably just be something really basic. Like, all this buildup we get in this chapter and the connections with Bonnie and Vegapunk and how important it seems like it's gonna be, I'm more hyped than ever about Kuma's flashback. And I'm tight because we're probably not getting it for another, like, 10 weeks, bro. I'm that serious.
10 weeks?
I'm so serious. You think we get... Anyway, whoever needs to go next, yeah, I can go, but that's all I gotta say.
Logo.
Honestly, like you guys said, this whole segment, the way collaboration of like panels and pages was great, and because you said, like you said, you see him climbing up. It really, like you said, it makes you connect with Kuma, because I was even thinking about his ability, right? How she would notice, maybe, because I was thinking about like how you could further connect with someone if they're able to feel and understand your pain and your memories. Like Kuma could literally like, this is what I went through, out of him into his daughter, or out to somebody. So now, like most people, like they say, like you can understand, but you can't relate. But you can relate, but you still didn't experience what I experienced. Kuma can make that happen for you, where you could get Kuma can make 2 people kind of emotionally, mentally, physically connect in a way that's not really possible in real life, because he can literally give you what he experienced himself, right? And the fact that she's able to identify it so easily, this is not pain, this is his memory. Maybe Kuma shared a memory with her in the past to teach her something. This is what this is like. This is what happened to me. This is why this. That.
This is how you swim.
Yeah, exactly, right? Something.
I don't know how that would help.
He could have used it as a teaching tool. So, right, boom, now she has able to recollect all what she experienced through life, through like what she saw with her, how her father taught her, right? That's why you can think of right now, she's showing the close bond that they had, right? And this could be example why, because he opened himself up to his daughter that way by sharing his memories, sharing his emotional connect with her, right? And that shows that makes their bond even deeper as a father and daughter. And how she able to identify it like that way was just awesome to me. And also too, like I kept thinking, like what possibly could it be? So you see the connection they have. What is she holding back from her that he probably did in the past that's going to hurt her? And then when later on we think back earlier chapters, was that he said it was their race. Right? It could be, for now it makes you think of why would Kuma willingly give away his free will? He hated the world government. He always wanted, like, he has a family, he has a daughter, he was a king of a kingdom, right? He's doing all these things and now he's hiding it from his daughter, right? It's like he purposely gave his free will. And then she's saying, there's no way, from what all I understand and know from my father, he wouldn't do something like that. Makes you think of maybe it has something to do with their race, right? That's something that about their race, Bonnie doesn't know that Kuma does know, right? And he doesn't, and him sharing these memories and him finding out, the reason why he gave it over is because he found out something through his race where, like, affects him and with the world, the government. I'm trying to find a deeper thing because, like, Kuma is probably one of the most... We get a lot of mysterious men in One Piece, but right now, like, there's actually interesting we want to see is Kuma. He's the most mysterious that we don't get it. Like, maybe it's all the revolutionaries, like, with Dragon, but Kuma seems to stand out a lot because the more we're finding out about what he's doing and how he's doing things, it's more like we want to know the mysterious around him. Like, even right now, why is he here? Why is he at Mary Jo's trying to climb it? Like, and we see, like, we have, like, 2 other situations with someone in the past, Fisher Tiger and that giant robot. And in a way, he's kind of like both of them, you know? But he's climbing there by himself while attacking it with all this on the line. So it's like, it's very interesting, and we definitely want Kuma's backstory and the deeper connection that, to me, is like, I don't know why you think, I feel like Bonnie's probably going to touch it, and we're going to see her memories through Bonnie.
Yo, I'm saying we not getting that ASAP though.
Maybe not.
Oda teaser all up. We not getting. It's not happening next. If it happens next chapter, I'm gonna be hyped. But I just don't think it's gonna happen.
It may not. But it's what I was saying before with like Law's ability, because like the op through was like able to separate things, but also too like what Vegapunk was saying, the mind, the heart, memories. What can you make tangible? The heart. The thing like Law could kind of do that, but also if you combine the two, it's more of a way that could actually bring back a person. So I was thinking about with Law's ability and Kuma's ability, you'd probably be more of a complete doctor that could probably save anybody. Like you could probably really create not really recreate someone, but literally you are able to have that person in existence, you know? So that's what I was thinking with there's certain abilities that kind of like coincide or like match up with other abilities. So it's very interesting if you have them two together, pretty much, you know? So it's so that leaves more options like if these are where abilities come from. If it is people's imaginations, maybe there's a link to that. Mm-hmm. So, we just need Kuma's flashback because the more and more we're getting about it, it seems interesting. Like, we got to find out his objective, his motive, and why he's made these decisions, especially with you leaving your daughter like this. Mm-hmm. And why you're trying to hide so much from it when ultimately, like, how do you think your daughter would react towards it? Especially you had that connection you had before with your daughter. Because I believe he definitely shared that stuff with his daughter, but now he's not sharing anything. So, but it's obviously he's doing it as a father to protect his daughter for those reasons. But yeah.
All right, Lionel.
I was gonna do
it. I don't get it, bro. They've each done it like 6 times. Just talk.
It's bad time before.
Yeah,
and
just talk.
Be like, nah, I'm gonna just do it right now.
Okay.
It's a habit.
There's a lot that, like, it's hard to touch upon, but I was thinking of pretty much. This with the bubble thing with Kuma's memories actually kind of made me think of, because I see Vegapunk writing stuff down, like the formula of it, and remind me of his cloud thing, of the cloud thing he created. I think he took the principle of this and spanned it into a big giant thing that he has with the cloud, because he says that if people could, maybe he's trying to, like his thing's a big giant library, and now he's trying to make that knowledge spread to all. I think he hit with the idea with Kuma's thing, he's using that to somehow spread that to everyone else. Like, because I think I gotta go back to that chapter what they said, but I feel like this right here is a key to how Vegapunk was able to do his library thing and pretty much to spread his knowledge.
You mean the Vegapunk records?
Yeah.
The Vegapunk records.
Yeah.
I call it.
Yeah, the punk records.
Yeah, the punk records.
Fuck the cloud or whatever.
Because when I considered the cloud before, it made me think of
I was
that.
thinking like, what?
Because you said cloud, and it made me think of cloud. Yeah, the punk records. This made me think of that, and because completely. But this kind of goes into into another thing that probably Vegapunk got the improvements. I don't know how, but like with Kuma's ability, like we found like he could push into things that they're not tangible, like memories, feelings, whatever. So that made me think, all right, can it go even further to a soul? Like, can he, like, for instance, if he's using Kuma, like, can he do that to fruits and people? And that's how he's able to create certain things. I'm gonna make clones or make seraphims or make these things because he's using the blueprints of what Kuma's able to do to get something that will make it a living, breathing thing.
Mm-hmm. So like if he had an ability like a fruit, push the essence of that fruit where you could copy it.
Exactly. Like he push it out and now he's dissecting it, seeing it and dissecting. All right, what is this? What is that? Now I could mass produce this. Mm-hmm. See, I'm something like this is what makes Vegapunk dangerous. Like him understanding this with Kuma, and now again he's writing the formula, understanding with the fruit he's able to know so much and remember all this stuff. I think that's why he's so dangerous because all right, now I obtain this information. Now I'm gonna actually make work of that, and we see evidence of it through the things he created already.
Yeah.
So that's why I think like this was to me, probably could have been a big major breakthrough on Vegapunk's science, his knowledge of certain things because of Kuma's. Again, I don't know if he was able to even get part of Kuma's thing, but again, this understanding of what Vegapunk just did with Kuma, I think it branched into a whole new level of certain things that we see right now.
Yeah, it shows why. That's why he wanted it. So it could further. You said it further his record. I wouldn't call him dangerous for it though, because like how he's using it. If he was an evil person using it for like wickedness, then yeah.
He working for an evil group of people.
Yeah, and he didn't want to leave either. He said, "Not that I would choose to leave." You know how wicked the world government is, bro. Like,
I mean, he has his own his own agenda for it, but it's like, what's the point of having like this brain if you can't use it to its full potential? That's how he's using it. Like, I have all this brain, this science, everything, and no one can really support my ideas, my goals, what I want with resources and money.
Keep justifying evil, Lord.
I'm not justifying.
Keep justifying
evil. Because he's using it for, like, he's taking advantage of the world government in a way to prefer, like, world peace is what he's going for, right? So this is the only way he can that can help him achieve it is using the world government for it. And now the world government kind of found that out. It's like, oh, now we're going to kill you. So,
yeah,
you know?
I also find it again this like I agree with you guys with the moments with Kuma climbing and the flashback of not flashback flashback with Vegapunk and Kuma climbing the wall and them trying to discuss like pretty much what's going on with Kuma. That was like to me this whole scene was probably one of the best manga chapters and panels they had in One Piece in a while. I did question like why is Kuma climbing though? Like, can he just teleport to his destination
up top?
Yeah, I was thinking. I was wondering, like, why is he climbing?
Where's the dramatic effect in that? Man?
True. I'm all for it, but I'm just like, but man, maybe there's a limit or certain things that where he could go teleporting. Maybe he has to be there.
Maybe he hit that wall and hit his head too hard, bro.
I don't know, but yeah, I have a little more, but I even thought of what Larry said a while back. I don't know if you remember, but I think if you're going to touch upon it, I will let you do it.
No, say it, bro.
Because when you mentioned, like, remember a while back in the pod, somebody asked, pretty much, and it kind of goes on with what I was saying before, that what Kuma's awakening would be. Mm-hmm. And, like, and I told, I mentioned, like, you know, the multiverse of Spider-Man when Kuma could push the soul out of, like, you know, someone and whatever. And you said, pretty much, you think that Kuma could push out wills. Like, Kuma could possibly, like, if, like, Luffy, for instance, Kuma's ability, all right, Luffy has haki. I can literally push out your entire haki out of your body. Now, you literally can't use haki anymore. Yeah. That type of power is ridiculous. But, like, now it goes into what Vegapunk, if he could do that a little bit, take wills of certain things again and put into other things and continue creating, like, that's, like, and that's why I think this right here was a major breakthrough. And that's why I think, like, this is why we see a lot of stuff today of what Vegapunk's able to do, because of this moment.
Yeah, I agree. You guys touched on a lot. I agree with the panels and the way they went. Best moment, I think, in Egghead storytelling-wise, in my opinion. There's so many things that come to my mind when I see Kuma. So what I will say is, one, I do want to touch back on, like, Vegapunk being a good or bad person within the series. And I know I mentioned that him being a scientist, he relatively just wants to create. I'm starting to realize, like, I was wrong. I don't think he just wants to create. I think he also just wants the world to be a better place. And, like, scientists sometimes just want to create. But now we have that motive where, like, if he's the director of MADS and it says the director of MADS for world peace and he wants to create clones for world peace and he's unhappy when he doesn't build a geothermal system for his homeland, or just overall, like, the world doesn't have enough information, so he wants the world to be improved, so he wants to share all knowledge. These are all aspects of Vegapunk being a good person. Even when I mentioned it before, when Caesar the Clown tried to imitate what happened when Punk Hazard exploded, you know, Caesar was talking as if he was Vegapunk, but instead it was Vegapunk talking, and Caesar was just imitating him. So it just keeps going on and on that, like, gigantification wasn't something that he approved of, and just everything else. He's just a good person, I think. He just likes to create stuff.
He's trying to be.
And then we have Kuma. The cool part of what Kuma was doing by climbing the wall was, one, it reminded me of the emotional impact that we had on Drum Island when Luffy was carrying Sanji and Nami. Very, you know, that's a reference. I think that's a very cool reference. Then it's a double reference because I think it's referring to the robot that was climbing the red line in order to do something, but they never knew what it was trying to do exactly. So if we go even further into theorizing, maybe Kuma isn't just being willed, but he's being powered some way by this ancient fuel that's happening. In my opinion, the ancient fuel is just Haki, because Haki is everywhere. So maybe to some degree, there's some ancient Haki that's emitting to him, or he's receiving, or he's manifesting, that's pushing him towards wherever he's gonna go and he's gonna do. I think he's gonna run out of fuel. You need to say something?
Nah, when you said with the climate thing, it also remind me of like another thing with Fisher Tiger.
Yeah.
And I thought of
said both
what
mistakes.
if he's also
Yeah,
there?
he said that.
What if he's also going to free someone?
Yeah.
Like what somebody's captured there specifically that he found out and now he's trying to set them free. Like not the whole, like not everyone free, but someone specific that the world government or that's in Marine Joyce. I thought that when you said it made me think of that now. Like he's trying to break somebody free.
As long as it's not Roger, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not with that.
So
It could be his wife. We still haven't got where she is at.
They was never married, bro.
yeah, you know women don't matter in One Piece, bro.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
As we keep going into, you know, what Bonnie's not able to accept and Kuma's still getting destroyed and stuff like that. And then I just thought it was funny that, you know, Vegapunk's like, yo, don't go towards that door. It has nothing to do with your father. Bro, meanwhile, there's a paw print on the door. Bro.
Larry, I was like, yo, this is supposed to be the smartest man
Yeah.
in the universe. That's the stupidest. Like, I was like,
This is
oh,
the
I don't
dumbest
get it.
thing.
the only thing I think was like maybe he lost brain cells with the de-aging.
Yeah.
Because,
Yo,
bruh.
it was bad. It was bad. With a big old paw on it.
So, to get into the emotional struggles of what Bonnie is, you know, going through, I thought seeing that huge bubble was a great, I wouldn't say double spread because it is covered, but it was just a great panel in my opinion. I loved seeing that, and I'll get into it right after why. So we get all this information from Vegapunk regarding like memories, heart, this and that, right? It made me realize when you go back to when Zoro was on Thriller Bark and he attacked Kuma, and then Kuma was like, yo, instead of taking your life, I'll just give you all the pain and anguish that Luffy suffered during Thriller Bark. And he's like, bet. But he was like, yo, you're not probably going to be able to live through that because of how tired and exhausted and, you know, damaged you are. And he was like, yo, I don't care. So is it possible to a degree, and I know this sounds crazy, is it possible that Kuma not only took out the suffering and stuff like that, but he also took out pieces of Luffy's will, and then Zoro, when he pushed into it, received some of that exhaustion and pain, but he also received some of like Luffy's will itself. Because if Kuma can't necessarily, I don't know how far, you know, Kuma can take his ability. And I don't know if this sounds good or not, right? Like, I don't know if I would want that. But I'm just saying, if Kuma didn't have full control of his ability, then maybe when he used it, he probably took out a piece of Luffy's, like, innate talent, and it topped on top of Zoro's already immense talent, and it's making Zoro, like, a little bit better after that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a knock towards Zoro. I'm not saying it to like downplay Zoro. But what I'm saying is, I don't think it would be too far-fetched to be like, if Law's ability, as mastered as it is, it didn't work on somebody like, you know, what's this guy's name again?
Virgo?
No. When Kaido hit Kinemon. If it didn't work on Kinemon because it like he wasn't put back together.
Oh, correct. Okay, yeah.
Then it might be a possibility that Kuma probably put a little bit of will or talent into Zoro too after that.
I'm not saying it's impossible. Like, I'm not even saying it's improbable. I just would hate it so much. Like, I don't think there's any, like, Larry, you normally be saying some stuff, and I'd be like, oh, I can vibe with that. I would hate that so much.
Same.
Yo, so much, bro.
Listen, I'm not saying anything too crazy.
You know what makes it worse? Like, the next arc was the first time we saw Zoro show, like, conquers hockey in the anime.
Yeah.
Like, bruh.
That's all I was gonna mention because at Sabaody Archipelago, you remember he got lost. It's only in the anime, but he got lost. He was walking by himself. A couple pirates surrounded him, and then like he did like that little, you know, conquerors hockey look, and then like everybody like stumbled for a second. It wasn't in the manga though, but it happened immediately after Thriller Bark. So I'm not saying it's real.
Yo,
I'm just saying. All right.
Zoro, he has key
Yo,
disposition
bro.
because of Luffy.
You might get flayed. You
yo,
might be
seriously.
you might be
Yeah.
the most hated man on One Piece YouTube for this. If you like to actually put this like out as a theory or something, bro.
Nah, I
Zoro
think
fans different.
All
bro.
right. So I'm almost done. I'm so sorry I'm taking so long. It's just that there's so many ideas that are popping up, and we have a little bit. But I don't know if you guys noticed, but when we saw Bonnie and Kuma was in the robes, he didn't have the bear ears, but he has the bear ears right now, and he's also wearing glasses too. So there's a difference between where Kuma was when he had his devil fruit. So we know for a fact he didn't have his devil fruit when he was a child. And usually everybody that's awakened is usually awakened when they had their devil fruits since children, right? And we'll get into the later part of this chapter. But what I want to say is, if I follow the direct narrative of like every single person having their devil fruit since a child has a true awakening, then he probably didn't have his devil fruit awakened at this point in time, because he does look the same age, sort of. But I don't think any longer that he's a paramecia. I think he might be a mythical Zoan. I think he's probably some type of Hito no Mi, the same way like Luffy and Sengoku are, but he's a part of like a different folklore that resembles bears. And I'm pretty sure there's a folklore out there regarding like a bear pagan god that happens to be a father, happens to be a married individual, a husband. Like, there's something out there, I think. But the ability, this is what I was saying before, like we talked about 𝑆𝐻𝐻𝑆 and like how 𝑆𝐻𝐻𝐻 is using Yoru as well, like an imitation of the Yoru. But I always told, I was saying to you guys, like, it would be so freaking crazy if like Vegapunk can just transfer wills, and if so, how would he do so? Because you can't take it out of a sword. But then I was saying to myself, well, swords, ships, anything that's created usually has a spirit inside of it, or a will, like a devil fruit. Like they have 𝗵𝐴𝐴𝐴 to a degree, right? What if he's able to just push out a piece of Yoru, and then it goes into another sword, and then now there's like two Yorus? Mm-hmm. That's, that was always the question, if he could transfer wills. And if so, I also said, well, how do you do the memories part? Because obviously it makes the personality of that person, and then that's how they go further in their ambitions or their dreams to build upon their already, inserted willpower. So like this 𝑆𝐻𝐻𝐻 might not ever be stronger than where Mihawk was at a certain point of his life, because he can't, surmount and go further, infinity and beyond, right? So I'm saying to myself, like, well, Kuma might be the cheat code.
Mm-hmm. You could just give him the experiences.
Yeah. And this is where Lionel might be correct, where it's like, like maybe this is the starting point of all of it. Like maybe this is where he also learned about lineage factor too, right? Because lineage factor in the cover story wasn't taking place. So it's like, this might be where it all connects. And it's so crazy because you just said versatility of fruits, right?
Yeah.
Law's ability can do stuff like this. And you know who does? When he showed it? During Punk Hazard, when he switched people's personalities or their hearts. And it's like, what? Mm-hmm. Like, Law's ability just went, its stock went even further for me.
It's funny, because I was going to ask y'all this outside the pod, but, like, if you eat 2 devil fruits, which would they be? And I'm thinking it might be Law's because it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be beaten. You're undefeated. There's no way you can lose.
But other than that, that's kind of like everything that came to my mind. I don't really have anything else to say regarding this, but I think I brought a lot to the table that even like it was just a lot. So
it was dope. We got some supers sitting if you want to hit
let's hit the supers quick. And then we'll do the sponsorship after.
Yeah. We got $5 from Terrible TJ. It says, Quasars are the brightest objects in the universe. I think Vegapunk is the brightest character in One Piece. He was not showing it in this chapter.
Yo, terrible.
But I agree with you.
Terrible.
I think
You're the brightest person in the universe.
We got another $5 from Ozzy Phenom. It says #lushy Larry. Thank you so much, Oz. We got another $5 from Ryunosuke. It says, if Vega gets on the ship, what if he teaches Chopper about lineage factors and Chopper somehow incorporates it into his rumble balls? Just a thought.
I actually like that.
I thought it was gonna be more doctory and saving.
He'd be a
cure.
Digimon.
I mean, listen, as long as Vegapunk can get Chopper off of that juice, man. Because Chopper's like,
He got problems.
he a dope fiend. Y'all dance around it, man. If you saw somebody using the way Chopper uses, you'd speak up.
Dude, he only uses it in battle. He doesn't use it like just throughout the day.
man.
I need my rumble.
I'm just saying, bro.
If somebody was using coke in the UFC every time, you'd be like, yeah, you can't do that.
It's a problem, bro. It's a problem.
You might want to chill out.
We got another $2 from Baby Pluton. It says hashtag Lucci Larry legend agenda hasn't died off. Shout out to Baby Pluton, man. We got a membership to Shichibukai status from Gabe. Appreciate you, Gabe. Enjoy all the emotes that come with the new status.
Thank you, Gabe.
And then I think we got one more. If my computer will work, we got a $10 super chat from Baby Pluton. It says Ragnar said he believes Kuma not only pushed out Luffy's pain, but also Nika's memories on Thriller Bark, which is why Zoro said nothing happened. A subtle inclination to the void.
I can't. No.
I'm gonna be real.
Ragnar be wild, bro.
It's a wild take, but at the same time, it would sort of resemble what Rayleigh kind of had when he spoke to the Straw Hats during Sabaody Archipelago, where he was like, yo, I could tell you, but like, you know, you might come up with a different answer than us. And it's like, if that is true, then, you know, Rayleigh is supposed to be somewhat like Zoro, where, you know, Luffy's supposed to be somewhat like Roger. And if they have like the same type of relationship, then it would explain why Zoro might have, you know, that nothing happened. But overall, I don't think it would be cooler than knowing like nothing happened because he had to take that sacrifice for his captain. It would make it more complex and convoluted, and I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't like that, but you like with non-players.
The way,
but my bad. But it's like if Zoro is he saying that Zoro would know the history?
No. He would know a piece of Nika's memory. So like it might be like a little tidbit, but it gives him the ability to understand. I
will be real. If there's any character in the series that could know the history and just straight up not say anything, it's Zoro. Not Zoro. Yo, it's Zoro.
I don't know. Robin been keeping secrets
because of the fact that he knows what Luffy's like and what how he would want to learn this stuff. I can totally see Zoro knowing this and being like, well, you gonna find out eventually.
It's not a completely bad take.
No. Sanji explained it correctly because he understands, even though he honestly understands Zoro. Zoro mentioned it because he didn't want to draw attention to it because he knows what he took for Luffy and the entire crew. Yeah, if you also imagine with Zoro's character, it's similar to like Odin, where you don't really explain things, you kind of just do things and kind of not expect any praise from it, but like not draw attention for it. That's how Zoro works.
They also knew like if Luffy found out, he would feel bad. Like, they didn't want to do that.
And Sanji said that. That's not the reason why he did it.
Yeah.
We got a couple more that just came in. We got $5 from Terrible TJ. Thank you so much, man. A couple today.
Yeah, TJ, you're going off, bro.
I see Luffy's will as an overflowing cup of water. Zoro sips of Luffy, intensifying their own will. Everyone sipping off Luffy. Mihawk said so. Question mark.
What?
I think he's pointing to the fact that Mihawk explained that he has this power to attract people.
Yeah, I think he's saying like they feed off of Luffy's will.
Like inspiration in a way.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe not so much in the same sense that Kuma gave it to him, but maybe.
Yeah. Luffy as a captain makes them stronger as a whole because Luffy's dream is to become the Pirate King, so they have to level up their own way to be supporters of the Pirate King.
The only one I kind of have a little bit gripes with that is Zolo, because Zolo already stated like regardless of Luffy becoming Pirate King or not, his goal is to become the world's greatest swordsman, and that's not going to change.
Man, that was way back.
No, but that's still his goal. Like
he has that goal already.
Like he could be sipping off Luffy, but I don't think it's like Zoro's already that guy. Yeah. Like he doesn't need any more inspiration than what it is to become that. But I do say that Luffy does encourage him, but that's as far as it goes. Like Zoro's still going to be that.
But it also goes vice versa, because Zoro also said that if Luffy interferes with his goal becoming it, he would kill Luffy.
Not
right?
Anymore.
Huh?
Yeah, he would kill Luffy. I don't think
but also he also checks Luffy when Luffy's messing up. You know? So, yeah.
All right.
We got a $12 super chat from Gabe. It says, missed too many streams, been waiting my whole life for this. Hashtag Buggy Gang. Gabe, that's my favorite super chat that I think I've read all year so far, man. That was awesome.
Really?
You could have gone your whole life without doing that.
And finally, we got a $8 super chat from Shandi Wandi. It says, Bonnie stocks keep going up, but I got one thing to say. This is Oda's story. She is a woman. She can't be that strong. Damn.
Wow. Wow.
Listen,
That
bro.
was my least favorite super chat of the year, Shandi.
Shandi ain't miss on that one.
Yo,
He just don't miss.
listen, Big Mom was strong. Bo is strong. Stussy seems to be strong.
And Yamato's out here.
Yamato's strong.
Yeah, what?
There's strong women out here, bro.
Crazy how all of that was off paneled, but okay.
Whatever.
Yeah,
We should
Anyway.
hit the sponsorship now.
Yeah,
too.
let's do the sponsorship, Marv. Thank
This
you, everybody.
episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Have you been struggling lately? Maybe you're having trouble sleeping, difficulty with a relationship, or just struggling from low self-esteem. Listen, I've been there. We've been there. If so, then today's BetterHelp wants to help you. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and help you. Talk to your therapist in a private, online environment at your own convenience. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire, simple as that, to help assess your specific needs. And then you get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Then you schedule a secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages and everything you share is completely confidential. I happened to sign up at one point regarding my confidence issues. Next thing you know, my confidence issues are not issues anymore. I'm doing pretty well in that area. You can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime. Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. Special offer goes out to all that One Piece Talk listeners. You get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/TOPT. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TOPT. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode.
To get the fruits back, you know what I'm saying?
So
Are we live?
We're back, right,
sorry,
Marv?
my fault.
All right, so basically we're Lionel brought up. You want to bring it up again?
I just thought like that would be crazy if we talk about Kuma taking out wills. I thought, what if he could also take out the fruit out of you as well? Like you ate a double fruit, and Kuma's like, nah, it's gone now.
Work on your hockey, bro.
Get your hockey up.
And then Sebastian,
Yeah.
what'd you say?
I was like, it would be Blackbeard too. Would be the one because he be getting owned in fights like that. It's like, oh, you ate 2 fruits. That's crazy. You ate 2 fruits. That's crazy. You ate 2 fruits. Bam! You got no fruits, and like he got a. I know. I can see that. That would be funny. That would be that. Funny.
It's crazy that like you could see that, but then people will be like, "Yo, he top 5."
He's still in my top 5.
You know what I'm
He's
saying?
still in my
Yo, he top
top
5, yo.
Yes, sir.
Top 5,
It's
yo.
'cause it's
Blackbeard top 5. But
it's-
like Kuma could just speed blitz him and just
Listen.
knock a fruit out of his body.
Facts. Both things can be true.
Imagine knocks the yummy yummy out. Now he top 30. You get what I'm saying?
Listen, bro. Listen.
Hey, people be getting caught, man.
Exactly.
No.
man.
Blackbeard be getting caught.
Yo,
No, it's
listen.
not people. It's
Listen.
Blackbeard be getting caught. But,
Caught you napping.
Caught you napping.
Caught you bragging.
We got 2 more suits real
Yeah,
quick. I
let's
can
do
read
it.
them. We got $5 from Red Hair Chankdom. It says, hashtag Lucci Larry because I need a new screensaver.
Oh my
I
god.
love that one. We got another $2 from the Odd Advantage. It says, Hoochie Coochie Larry Lucci.
Gucci, Gucci.
Oh,
People
man.
got issues.
Oh, man.
It's tough, bro.
That's
Oh
hilarious.
man, let's get back to it. But make sure y'all like the stream, and we're only 20 subscribers away from 5K. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do.
Yeah, if you haven't liked the video already, I mean, come on. So we head back to the Labo phase where the Sanji Straw Hats are. Shaka apologizes for the system malfunction, and everyone notices that Brook and Zoro have bad odds of winning against the CP0. The Seraphim are there too, and they moved on their own without being ordered to. Edison has an idea to help, and Lilith is happy to see some action. Shaka contacts them and tells them to keep doing what they're doing, and Lilith tells him to shut up. Sanji makes a smart remark about Zoro dying before reaching the One Piece, and Nami yells at him to go help them out. Sanji then refers to himself as Sanji-Fim, and he only follows Nami's orders. Then Frankie yells out that he's Twirly-Fim, and to take this seriously. Then we see Zoro and Brook. They are discussing Kaku looking odd. Then we see Kaku is in his awakened zone form. Zoro gets blitzed and immediately puts Kaku's face into the ground. Lucci tells the Seraphim to destroy the lab, so they do. Then all of a sudden, we see 𝘚𝑚 bite Kaku, and Kaku immediately goes unconscious. Lucci in shock asks 𝘚𝑚 what she's doing, and she tells him that she put Kaku to sleep, and now she'll do the same to him. She's then shown to have black bat-like wings, and she's introduced as being a clone of Miss Buckingham 𝘚𝑚, a ROX member. A mad experiment, successful subject number 1, 𝘚𝑚. What did you guys think about this? And we'll start off with Lawrence.
Oh man, so this is like a heavy part of the chapter, right? So going back to the beginning, honestly, I kind of wanted. All right, let me start from here. I like that, for example, that it's stated here because we got confirmed like they're not just mindless robots in a way. It says that each seraphim has somewhat or a measure of a personality, so they can kind of make decisions or start from their own. They're not just sitting there. Oh, you gave me an order, then I move. So they can kind of read situations and react based on their own personalities or whatever. So they kind of all read the same thing and it was like, let's go up without anyone ordering them to. So pretty much I actually like that. So now it gives them more, and we see a little bit more of the personality with the snake one, where she acted more like a little girl when Jinbei thanked her for helping them. So I like that. So showing that they kind of have their own personalities. Where that leads to, where like their personalities take over from the orders, or is it going to be well controlled in that aspect? We'll still wait to see as they grow older. Because I think we see in the show that people's will, or their personalities are enhanced by their will, or vice versa. So if they do have a will matched up with that person's personality, where their personality starts showing more. As I'm asking with the seraphims, we'll have to wait to see that because they're still little kids. Because the more people grow and develop, you'll start seeing the will activate more, or the personality activate, depending on how much their will is shown. So then we have here. I thought it was hilarious with the whole Sanji and Sanji's he's a funny character with the whole taking Nami's order and calls him a Sanji-Fim and a Twirly-Fim. But but it's just funny in him and Zoro's dynamic, how he was just like, I was all about to die before I reach One Piece, man. He's about to miss out, it's just like, bruh, that's supposed to be your teammate in a way, but we know they have a weird relationship, right? Hold on, I lost. Okay, yeah. So now I kind of wanted Zoro's reaction to the Hawk Seraphim. But see, from what we've seen here, he hasn't seen him yet because he was still focused on Kaku. So I guess we have to wait till next chapter to see how Zoro responds to noticing that there's a copy. Because I don't think he noticed any of the Seraphims yet. They're kind of copies of him. This one actually is a copy of Mihawk. How he's going to respond to it. Is he going to challenge it? Is he going to fight it? Or he's going to be like, that's not the real one. I don't care. So it'll be interesting how he's going to respond to that. And it's funny because I did say this a few chapters ago. Are we going to see it? And we did see it. I know people have different gripes about it with Kaku's awakening, right? And that's one of the most controversial
Trash.
things. Okay.
Trash.
Okay.
But go on.
I can understand that. But I did say it, right? But I will say this, right? They have never said in the show or showed in the show that you had to have years or time mattered with your ability to awaken it. We got information from Kaido, who said it all depends on when not all depends, but it says it depends when your body and mind catch up to your ability. If you could do that early, what if you just get an ability, but your mind is already developed and your body's already developed to that ability? Can you just awaken it then go by that? They never said that time mattered. We always kind of just guessed that time was a thing that had to play a factor in, but it was never said in the show. They never really showed that in the show. Right, because some people we know that we don't know how long they got their ability, but they awakened it already. We don't know when Kid got it. We know Law got it as a kid, and Luffy got his a kid, but also too, because this ties into deeper stuff. But if you want to argue that, I'm saying what kind of kills that for me is Luffy. You cannot say Luffy's mind and body matched up to his ability when he literally woke in his ability off his death. So going by what Kaido said, it kind of throws it out the window because Luffy in a way died. So if you want to go at his ability either woke up and didn't want Luffy to die and awakened, or either way, Luffy's not like oh, I woke up my ability because I trained for it and my mind caught up. No, I died, so to speak, or was close to death, then it awakened for him to keep him alive, so to speak. So if you want to argue that, they never said that time mattered, but they said that that's what Kaido said, right? But if Kaku's one, he said he already loved giraffes. I'm not, but it's like, if that factors into it or not. But if he's supposed to be a genius, like with Luffy, Rob Lucy and them, they kind of show like they're special people right from the beginning, right? Then he got this ability. Maybe they were sure enough already to kind of awaken it early on because that shows their talent. And also be like the grade of the ability itself, the Zoan, that these aren't mythical, they aren't ancient, they're relatively basic Zoans, a giraffe and a leopard, I don't know if that factors into it, but also too, if what Kaido says is true, Luffy's the anomaly where it's like it didn't matter because he just woke off his death. But that's true. It doesn't mean that you need time to it. You just, as long as you catch up to it at whenever time you do it, you can awaken it. That's what I'm gonna say about that. And honestly, going to because we talked about I'm gonna go back to 𝙬𝙀, right? I don't know why for some reason when I read I say it for now, I linked the cover chapter to this chapter. Even though I didn't really have a reason why to, but they showed that cover, then reading what Vegapunk said, I kind of matched it like that was there for a reason, right? So it made me think of we saw that fruit, we see 𝙬𝙀 here. What if that fruit that we saw there is actually what 𝙬𝙀 has now? I don't know what fruit it is, but I kind of linked that to why they broke it off as like them working together. It kind of looked like, because all of them being together with that, it could have been like they were working on something. And the first successful clone, what if that group there was when they were kind of establishing 𝙬𝙀? They're creating that clone, right? Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really, I linked it. I'm not saying it is, but that's what I kind of thought too, that it was linked up to that chapter and what he was saying here. And it's very interesting. I don't want to take up too much, but because we all know who Bakugan is. So I don't know. I'm gonna say that, let someone else go when they start relieving that. But so it's very, very interesting. So I want to open up so we could discuss about it before. So it's not focused on me.
Seb?
Yeah, I love this whole section of the chapter except for the Kaku awakening thing. I don't care. I said it weeks ago. If Kaku's everything Larry said about Lucci, that's how I feel about Kaku being awakened. Now, I've had some conversations with people in regards to Kaku's awakening, and if it's an artificially awakened fruit, like there's something that CP0 gets that allows them to awaken quicker, or some sort of serum or some sort of training or whatever. Like I talked to Lionel about it, and it was like, maybe the fact that they have the 6 powers helps him in that avenue. But Kaku was he was like a third of the fighter that Lucci is 2 years ago, and just ate his devil fruit. Like, I'm not hearing that, bro. Like, I'm sorry, again, I don't like complaining about One Piece, right? It's something I don't like to do. But how I just read an arc with hundreds and hundreds of Zoan devil fruit users and Yonko crew members that ate Zoan fruits and have had them for years, and they don't show me awake. Why am I reading that? And then I come in and loot Kaku, who lost to pre-skip Zoro, is awakened, bro. That's not enjoyable to me. Like, I get it. Like, he's back in the series and stuff. I was with it with Lucci. I was fine with it with Lucci, as long as he didn't get crazy powerful where he could actually defeat a Luffy, right? Or be a real threat. And he wasn't, so I'm fine with it. But Kaku, bro, like, come on, man. Like, I'm sorry. I'm never going to vibe with the Kaku thing. I think it might be an artificial awakening. But I'll let somebody else harp on that longer if y'all want to. Shaka acting like he wasn't the one that made that malfunction. Come on, son. Like, oh, sorry. It seems there was a malfunction in the.
That's stupid.
It was you. Thank you, Marv. It was you, bruh. It was you, Shaka. I love the double page spread of the Seraphims pulling up the punk records like they trying to sign a deal. Lucci out here trying to get his people on, y'all. I love that. It just looked cool to me. They keep reusing this the hierarchy. So it's been playing an important role so far. So I expect it to be a more important role in the future. Lawrence touched on the Sanji and his nonchalant attitude. I also love Larry continuing to call them the Sanji Straw Hats, even though Luffy and Jinbei are both there.
Are they?
Yeah.
I forgot. I didn't see them there. That's why
they weren't there in that panel or whatever, but they're there in that room with them.
Yeah.
But I did think the Zoro fighting Kaku was a cool little callback, like just like last chapter. The spoilers made it seem like Zoro one-shotted Kaku, and it was like, all right, bro, like they stayed capping, bro. I hate that. I did love the joint attack from the Seraphims. I thought that was cool. They absolute mayhem on the island right there. People having to get out of the way. And anything my girl Stussy do is going to get me hyped, because that's my girl, bruh. I don't care. She out here trying to defend her man. Y'all see it.
Yes,
I'm going to spin this however I want. I don't care, Lionel. This is her trying to make sure that Lucci and CP0 can't clip the love of her life, bruh.
Did she come up on Vegapunk like that?
We'll see. We'll see, man. But I love the vampire-esque fruit abilities, and Lawrence said we could save the Miss Buckingham. I'm jumping out the window with it. Yo, it's Bakin, Weevil's mom, and I like the theory that it's because what do you call it? That Whitebeard couldn't have kids, and she was like, yo, this is gonna be the way that we can have kids. And that's why they broke up, because she used the Whitebeard's DNA to try to make a clone and stuff. My only problem is they said this is the successful subject number 1, right? So this one worked. So like Weevil would have to be a failed clone. You know what I mean? Which makes sense.
Yeah,
he
it does make sense.
He doesn't look like Whitebeard like that. So, and definitely based off Vegapunk's standards of stuff, he would consider Weevil a failure. But I can vibe with Weevil being a failed clone. I wasn't with it before so much. I'm a little with it now. I like it more than I did before. But shout out to Stussy, man. Waifu of the week for sure. I'm gonna put it in the chat to see what y'all with. But she gotta be waifu of the week. What about you, Lionel?
But the waifu of the week, or no?
Hey, you can start there.
No, actually, with the whole Weevil thing, to me, that makes sense a lot. And I also think of, like, because he seems far off mentally, you know, and I think, like, that could be part of, like, one of the reasons why it's a fail. Like, if you look at, if he's a clone, out of all the clones, the Seraphims, now Stussy, and, like, others, he's, like, physically, he looks off. Like, he may have the strength, but he's all, like, you know, damaged and, like, you know, sewed up, and mentally, he's not there either. So, like, out of all the other clones, like, he's, like, you know, in a way, the first one that was a failure, then all the other ones was a success. You know, which we don't know of how many other clones are there. Like, because so far, the clones-wise, we only see clones of people who are alive. Stussy, she's still alive, controlling Weevil. The Seraphims, obviously, the warlords. And I can't think of anybody else that's a clone that they mentioned. But, like, all these people are alive, present. We don't know if they ever got to the point where they can make a clone of somebody who is already dead. That would be crazy, but we'll wait and see if Vegapunk has gone that far. It's like crazy that it's confirmed that Baki is a Rocks pirate, which we all thought too. And I always thought we possibly going to get more of the Rocks history, not from Kano, from Wano, from somebody else. And since they introduced Miss Bakin beforehand, I thought we might get it from her somehow. I don't know if Stussy has the memories of Baki. That'd be interesting if she does, because she's a clone, but we don't know if she doesn't know. Does she know she's a clone herself? One, and also does she have any memories when she was on the Rocks Pirates? We don't know. We don't know any of that. But I do believe that we're gonna get the Rocks history and more possibly from them, more specifically. On the Kaku end. Like, again, I understand everybody's feelings, especially like which Matt said, Kaido and all the emperors and stuff. I do have some mixed feelings with it. I do agree with Lawrence with the time thing, and I also have like more evidence of that. Because, for instance, when we see people eat fruits, we see how quickly they are able to utilize their powers. Like Blackbeard with the Yami Yami fruit, able to he got it in a way in the beginning of the series. and now he's able to destroy a whole village. He just gets Wiper's fruit, able to do Wiper's this thing and Quake. Sabo eats Ace's fruit, able to do the Fire Fist immediately. Like Kaku and Khalifa, able to utilize that fruit like they had it for years. Which they just ate it, but they're able to utilize it. Again, you can say they're all trained, but again, you can say your Momo. He is able to use a fruit. Granted, he's not really able to control it, but he's already able to turn into a dragon. Granted, uncontrolled, but now later on, he's getting more control of it. He's able to use flame clouds. And now he's able to spit fire, and that's an artificial fruit. So that's something like that. The fruits, they never showed that you needed a ridiculous amount of time. You need to master it, but they never said there's a time frame of how you could master your fruit. And basically showed how quickly Baby was able to utilize its power. They didn't really show that you really need that much time for it. But Awakening is different because it's a different power level. But again, that's uncleared for us. I do believe, again, and I understand with Kaido and how come they didn't show it. I do agree with Lawrence with Kaido just holding back. He didn't think he was worth to do Awakening on Luffy. Me and Lawrence even got to a point that we could even see Kaido possibly coming back, probably realizing that Luffy is Joy Boy. I don't know how people feel about that, but realizing Luffy's Joy Boy now, finally going all out on Luffy, fighting him, knowing that he's the real Joy Boy, and say, all right, like, I was holding back this time. Now I'm for real coming at you if you're the real Joy Boy and fighting Luffy. Like,
Man, ain't nobody got time for that.
I mean, I understand. I'm just trying to make more sense of it. I do kind of believe that possibly either through the training and maybe Vegapunk had dealing with Kaku going full awakening, because again, like, he's with the world government, and clearly Vegapunk has a lot of information and understanding how devil fruits work. So if you want to get your ability awakened, you could probably go to Vegapunk to get like a quick way to achieve it, which I probably believe that Kaku and even Rob Lucci possibly did it. Besides their training, but I don't know, that's just me just speculating. But again, Vegapunk is in the world government. He's actually helping them doing all this stuff and doing experiments on fruits. So I wouldn't find it too hard to believe that people are able to get their awakenings quicker because of Vegapunk. Again, it was dope seeing like, Zoro fighting Kaku again. It was pretty dope, like, nostalgia, but it ended quickly because Kaku's not going to be a match for Zoro. Again, funny with Sanji, the Seraphim. Just that whole scene with the Seraphim standing too, that was pretty dope. But yeah, and I swear you said Shaka Khan in the beginning.
I said Shaka.
I swear you said Shaka and Khan. I try to keep back and forth. I'm like, did you say Shaka Khan? I'm just like, I don't know. But I just want to say that. But I'm not really sure how I feel about Shaka like being the betrayer of. That's interesting.
I feel like it's too obvious at this point.
Yeah.
But like, I was right about Kanjuro, so we'll see.
We'll see. But, I mean, because again, we don't know what his face is and who he really is. So like when that could be like how Stussy revealed that she was a clone. He might reveal like I'm somebody who's like, I don't know, maybe a clone too as well. But like we don't know. But yeah, I'll let Larry go.
Where should I start? I don't know if Shaka's the traitor. I don't know who is. A piece of me thinks Edison might be, but I was wrong about the whole Wano traitor situation. So I don't think I have the right amount of stature.
Who's Edison?
He's the inventor, the small little guy.
Yo, low key, there's too many Vegapunks, bro.
Yeah. I thought the Seraphim's doing, getting up together. Like, we already know they have personalities.
Yeah.
Just knowing that they're not completely obedient, they do things on their own. It's pretty cool. Sanji.
I knew he was going to say so. I knew it.
Sanji, he hasn't been really holding up this arc. A lot of people out here saying Sanji's like, first commander level. I just, this is not first commander level type of attitude. Should be, I need to go out there and, help out without being told to do so. But it also could be that he has such faith in Zoro that he knows Zoro's, they can't beat Zoro. Also, it might prove even further that Sanji's observation haki is pretty high, because now he could dictate who's strong and who's not, and he doesn't think any of them could probably beat Zoro. Which is high praise to Zoro if you look at it in that way.
There's a lot of Seraphim.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, if Zoro could solo all this right here, He's stronger than I think he is, and I got Zoro pretty high, bro.
I got Zoro up there.
That is crazy.
Listen, he was able to take a Lunarian that was an adult. What makes you think he just can't one-shot a Seraphim at this point?
Because he didn't one-shot that Lunarian, bro.
Hey,
Which one?
King.
Hey, he did.
Well, hold on. I just said it. He's a full adult. He has Haki, and he knows how to use his abilities very well.
Bro, we talking about 4 Seraphim and Luffy.
Hold on. You're also forgetting that he's also an ancient Zoan who are known for their resilience and durability. There's a lot stacked on King that makes him a first commander of a Yonko crew.
I'm not saying there's not. I'm saying there's like 5
Yes.
second commander level people here.
Yo,
right
but
now.
they're kids.
I don't know, man. I just feel
I think
like
you putting too much faith into Seraphims based on what they can do and what they are.
Vegapunk knows King exists and say, yo, this is the strongest thing in the world that I created.
Okay, so who's gonna be stronger, a kid or a man?
Depends on the man. Buggy's a man. You know, Usopp's a man.
So you think like a child can just be stronger
There's
than
several
Buggy?
children in One Piece stronger than several adults in One Piece. Yes.
Well, Sebastian, you also wanna
Sebastian's he's just headcanoning right now,
I'm
so I'm not
just
gonna pay
saying.
attention to it. But yeah, he's wrong.
I'm just saying.
But overall, to get to the Kaku awakening, I'm so happy I called this. I told y'all it was trash from the start that Lucci even got it. I know you guys are bringing up the fact that like devil fruits can just be used immediately, but that doesn't mean awaken can.
True.
All right, like you need to also. I feel like, to me personally, you just need to be able to go through circumstances that make you force yourself to push your abilities further and further. So use the situation, the example with Momonosuke, and he was able to summon flame clouds. No, the circumstances that it took for Momonosuke to do that was, if I don't do this, the people in my country are all going to die, and I'm going to lose. So no matter what, I have to do so. It got to the point he was banging his head on the island in order to like push it away. But he all of a sudden did so because he also had encouragement from others to believe that, yo, you can take care of Kaido, I'll try to take care of this. And he just couldn't. You got to get to that point of defeat in order to realize you can surmount something, right? That's him using a synthetic devil fruit. But it also comes into play like he hasn't had his devil fruit for long. But I'm never going to say like somebody just can't use it, but I'm going to use the evidence that we have within the story to say like, okay, most people in the story, besides Kid, because I couldn't find out if he had it as a kid or not, that since children, if they had their devil fruit, they can do some type of awakening. That's always been the case. And also, if you can use your devil fruit in its awakened form, then you're not going to take the huge drawbacks that comes from awakenings, right? So Luffy's the only one because his, I believe, requires a certain amount of haki in order to do so. But also like Zoans, I've pointed out before, they have classes of Zoans. So sometimes if you're a cheetah, it might not be too hard because a cheetah doesn't need Conqueror's haki. A cheetah doesn't need Future Sight. It doesn't need the voice of all things. You know, all these things in order to become awakened the same way like Kaido's would, or like Marco's would, or Sengoku's would, or Luffy's would, because it takes all that in order to use the abilities to their highest extent. So for me, I'm like, okay, but I agree with Sebastian. I think it's bull. I think it's straight BS. I think that no matter what, in order to awaken your devil fruit, you need time. You need time. You can't just do that and just immediately awaken your devil fruit. If so, you're not going to use it to its fullest ability, and there's going to be a humongous drawback. But as we've seen with Lucci and Kaku, there is no drawback. The dudes can just go back and just chill out. And I thought that, like, everybody's like, well, Lucci's a prodigy. That was the number one reason. Yo, he's a prodigy.
No, Kaku had, like, a level of hype there. I will give him that. There was Jabra was supposed to be one of Lucci's rivals or whatever, and he, like, was newer and, like, jumped up to that rank or whatever, or that Doruki level. Like, there was some semblance of, like, Kaku is a high riser and young and prodigy. But
I just don't see it. I just don't see how, like, these individuals that we do not know the adversity they went through. And if you just say that they've trained, cool, bro. Like, training only does so much unless you're in real circumstances. And we don't know anything about their real circumstances. So me personally, in my opinion, I don't accept it. And I didn't accept it for Lucci, and I'm damn well not accepting it for Kaku. And then now this is leading to, like, Blackbeard's awakenings. You see the slippery slope? Like somebody with 2 devil fruits can now automatically do awakenings for their devil fruits. And I'm like, yo, well, that's not true too. Because if Yami is supposed to be the strongest devil fruit in the game, and we know that Luffy's devil fruit takes so much to activate, to awaken. And we know that Kaido probably didn't awaken it. Like, let's just go off the story. Like, he just didn't awaken it. It doesn't matter if he didn't have the potential or, you know, he was holding back. Just, he didn't awaken it. Like, that makes it that much harder for Blackbeard, and it requires more for Blackbeard, but then he also has the Goro Goro, which is 2 devil fruits he now has to worry about. Meanwhile, he got these 2 devil fruits in 2 years. And it's like, yeah, we want Blackbeard to be the epitome of strength at the end of the show in order to combat Luffy and his goal, because he's literally the antithesis to Luffy. But you just can't give him BS writing to just make him strong. You got to give us valid reasons as to why he's at this level. The same way we have valid reasons for Luffy. You can tell me something very easy, but you can't tell me like, yo, this is just going to happen just because narratively I want to make that what it is. Realistically, we would have to look at Wano and Egghead as the Majin Buu arc of One Piece. Because what happened in Majin Buu? Super Saiyan 3. Fusion Super Saiyan 3. Then it was like, yo, we can do another fusion that's different from this type of fusion. It was just always power scaling up.
Mystic Gohan.
Oh yeah, Mystic Gohan. It's always power scaling up, but it's necessarily no explanation behind it. And that's where the story comes into play for me, where like I'm no longer worried about the power scaling aspect. I'm worried about the story dictating the power scaling aspect, where like Luffy had to get 4 power-ups in order to even come close to defeating Kaido. That was a huge issue for me before. But I'm following the same trend. Like, I don't want to see Blackbeard awaken unless like Blackbeard goes through actually some struggles, where he's put into like a Momonosuke situation where he has to butt his head on an island because he can't forcefully just do what he has to do in order to awaken some ability. It's unfair.
See, I was a little different with it, because with Blackbeard, to me, I wanted him to be the exception. We were talking about this in my crib the other day. I'm fine if Blackbeard's the exception. Yo, Kaku can't be the, you know what I'm saying? It can't be Kaku. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna have, okay, I have to accept that this person's awakened now, and like he's doing this. If it's gonna be this apex character that Luffy has to fight to achieve his goal, okay, it'll be hard to deal with. Gotta write it well or whatever. But like, yo, Kaku, that just means anybody's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Like if I see somebody with a devil fruit now, I have to assume that they're awakened now.
Yeah.
Period. Because now Kaku has it. Or again, unless there is some artificial way to awaken your fruit that CP0 has access to.
Yeah.
Which I will accept. I'll be fine with that. I would love that, because it's like, okay, that's a way that the world government is combating the fact that they can't deal with all the crap that's out there.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. They have Vegapunk, cool. Yo, Kaku just getting the awakening because he trained mad hard or went through it in 2 years. Like, yo, I didn't like it. It rubbed me the wrong way. I told y'all I was gonna complain about it as hard as Larry did with Lucci. Yo, it's worse to me. It's so much worse to me that Kaku has it and like versus Lucci having it. And again, Larry talked about like the whole Wano thing. I think Kaido had an awakening. I don't like that we didn't see it.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
It's like the way he spoke about awakenings was, this is what we call this. That's what he said to Luffy. That's the phrasing he used in the official translation. So he knows all about it. I assume he has it.
Yeah.
Whether he used it or not, that's a whole other discussion. I don't like that we didn't see it. That's an Oda problem.
Yeah.
Why am I going from I didn't see it from Luffy's biggest and hardest battle yet to, yo, Kaku just whips it out casually in a minor scrap with Zoro?
Yeah.
Like awakenings were built up to be this X Factor thing that allows you to compete at higher level. Look at what happened with Doflamingo. Luffy whipped out Gear 4. We were mad hype. His counter was awakening. Same Katakuri. It was a part of the thing that made him special.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go from that to, yo, Kaku just does it, and it's like it doesn't, like, yo, bruh.
I completely agree.
I agree with that.
It rubbed me the wrong way. I want to stop complaining about it because I don't like doing that.
Yeah, because they're gonna come after you.
Whatever.
Hold on, bro. I still got more to say.
Oh, you got more to say? My fault.
It's just I do not like it. I think the only way this can happen, and I would be able to accept it, is if literally it goes back to what Vegapunk first said when he saw Luffy in his Gear 5th form, was how did he awaken? How did that transformation happen? I think that's probably a reference to how transformations actually happen within One Piece for people's awakenings, because there might be a slight difference. there might be a way where like Vegapunk artificially made it happen through like a rumble ball or something like that. Or like, you know, Chestnut brought up the fact that like when we go to Fishman Island, they were taking the pills and it turned their hair white and it made them super strong for the time being. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't something like that. And this is where it gets interesting too, right? Because we see 𝙬, she bites the giraffe, which is a callback to Whole Cake Island when she, the second commander, what's her name? The squeeze chick? Smoothie wrung out the giraffe's neck, and then she like gave 𝙬 a drink of the giraffe, right? That's a callback to that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But what I would like to see is that that 𝙬, it was also a foreshadow because in Whole Cake Island, when 𝙬 went after Dewfald to get the Tamate box from him and to claim it for herself because she wanted to give it to the world government, I wonder if that was to give it back to Vegapunk in order to get more resources for what he's doing on Egghead right now, because that would have gave him the values that he needed in order to create. But also, it's a callback to probably the pills, because she was, you know, talking about the Tamate box, which is from Fishman Island. And those pills were held in the Tamate box, if I'm not mistaken.
The energy steroids.
Yeah, the energy steroids. So that was dope to me. I was like, yo, that's crazy. I was like, yo, if that connection happens, then I could accept why these Marines who have the ability to ask Vegapunk for, you know, some specialties can ask him like, yo, I want something to make me awaken. I would accept that. I think that's completely possible. I would love it. If it's just, I got my ability and I awaken in 2 years, yo, F that, bro. That's terrible writing. Anybody that goes, yo, I just accept it, like, this is, nah, bro. Like, F that. Like, that's terrible. There should be nobody that should just get their fruit and then just awaken, like, 2 years later. That means the show just, anybody could do that. Like Sebastian said, anybody could just awaken at any point, at any time. And we would have to just accept that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be horrible, because it's supposed to mean something when you awaken your devil fruit. It's supposed to have this dramatic effect of, I can change the tide of battle whenever I want, but in order to claim something this valuable, I had to go through an enormous amount of adversity, because it built my willpower to handle this transformation to overpower you and what you've built up through your adversity. Just makes sense. The show's based on willpower. And then the 𝙬 reveal, I feel like I've been going on forever. But 𝙬 being a clone, I don't have an issue with. I think that her being a clone of Miss Buckingham, which is Weevil's mom, I think it's cool. I love the fact that the Rocks Pirates are still here. I love that the Rocks Pirates happen to be still probably the most important pirates in the show for good reason. And it looks like the more we get about Rocks Pirates, the more we start to realize like how undeniably strong Roger and Garp had to be just to face all 5 of these people, meaning Kaido, Big Mom, Rocks, Golden Shiki Lion, you know, Whitebeard, and also 𝙬. Like, she's taking out an awakened devil fruit user. Like, who else is on Roger and Garp's crew that could probably do some damage in order to be like, there had to be more people at God Valley, which is what I'm saying. The only slippery slope I don't like, and I hope doesn't happen, is that this clone thing gets out of control. I don't, me personally, in my opinion, I don't want to see Bonnie be a clone of Big Mom. I don't want to see, like, you know, Weevil sort of be a clone of, like, Whitebeard, even though, like, the way Sebastian said it would make sense. I don't want to see characters upon characters in the show become clones, because then we get the reanimation jutsu from Naruto, where like we're seeing these characters come back and all of a sudden they're just like characters that are supposed to be legends, but now they're just living in our time. Don't want to see that. Like, I think Rocks is dead for a reason, let him be. Roger, dead for a reason, let him be. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't tarnish these characters' moments with like the current age of pirates. If it doesn't hold significant importance on the story, I'm fine with cloning whatever you want. But if it's like somebody like a Whitebeard or like a Luffy or like a Rayleigh or like another like imagine Blackbeard just being a clone of Rocks. Like, that doesn't sit well with my stomach for me, because I want Blackbeard to be his own character. This is the reason why I don't like the multiple personalities. I want to see him be the freaking best villain we've ever seen in the show. And I think that you don't gain that if you get it from another villain in a previous era.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love the fact that she's, 𝘀𝐸 is doing this. It makes me think, like, does she have a Robin's Devil Fruit to a degree? Because they look sort of similar. But
Okay.
I don't
the
have anything else. I've been talking for a while, so my bad.
Nah, you got up a lot of really good points, man. I forgot to bring up the giraffe thing from chapter 860. That was great. Like,
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
It was so dope.
I gotta read.
I don't remember who it was, but somebody pointed that out on the Discord, so shout out to y'all.
𝙑𝙑𝙪𝙀 is also the financer for the Mats.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
it goes back
Yeah.
to her shooting him at Whole Cake Island.
Long history of beef there. No, I'm playing.
Looks like she cleaning the house.
Yeah.
Shout out to 𝘀𝐸, bro. 𝘀𝐸's so dope.
Yeah.
She the best CP0 member we got.
One thing I just want to mention, what I was thinking about, why I wanted to elaborate on the awakening thing, because I agree with you, and it shouldn't just be able to happen. But I want to come so we can go to calls. So I'm gonna sum this up real quick. I'm just trying to think, like, what I realized, for example, like, not to excuse it, but I was trying to think of another way to think of it, is like, we all know that some people cater to certain things, right? So obviously, like, Big Mom, she catered to her ability, right? Or favored her ability more over than her haki, so she used it more, right? So I was thinking, like, for example, going by what Kaido said, when you catch up to your ability, your mind and body catch up to your ability, that made me think of, like, synchronization in a way. You syncing with your ability, right? So it's like, if you don't favor your ability, necessarily if you're not syncing with it well, how is your mind and body going to catch up to it, right? Because you're not coinciding well with your ability. You wouldn't be able to awaken it. So maybe think of, like, the Zanbakutos in Bleach, where, like, for example, the more you listen to it, the more stronger you get, and you could even use your Bankai. Kenpachi, he had like no relation with his Zanbakuto, so he wasn't able to use it until later on, I believe, or if he was able to use it at all, right? So when you think of that, so like the more you grow with your ability and you kind of like synchronize with your ability, leads to your awakening. And I was just saying that maybe you could sync with it faster because you sync with it. You just sync with your ability that quickly, where like someone like Kaku possibly could do it within 2 years because he's able to sync with his ability faster than normals. So what I'm saying is it kind of depend on the person. Yes, there's time involved with it, but to me, what if Kaido is saying that it matters with you syncing with your ability, right? That some people, it takes longer for you to sync with it, but it takes some people, for them, that person, it's all on that person, they were able to sync with this ability quicker than other person would be able to sync with theirs.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care.
Yo, me and Larry are lockstep on this one, bro.
I'm just saying it would have been able to explain. It's not really Kaido's thing, but like, for example, because the one argument, maybe King, because I mean, Queen, maybe not, but King wise, maybe he relied on his Lunarian heritage more than his ability while he leading his awakening.
Bro, I saw him use his ability nonstop.
Yo,
I know you're trying to make different ideas as to why you need to explain something that just is nonsense, but it's not working.
Bro, King was out here using his ability in Tetradon form or whatever to like pull his face back and throw projectile face at people.
So
like that wasn't Lunarian ability, bro. Yeah, that was his Devil Fruit.
So, but like we have people change forms of their abilities all the time. Luffy was doing it how long pre-time stick? It took him like how long to even? It took. You want to go by that? It took Luffy what? How many years did Luffy have his ability to awaken his ability?
Yo, that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Kaku just did it though.
Yeah, but that was the thing. Again, but did Luffy really awaken it through catching up to it? He died. You cannot say Luffy woken his through traditional means by catching up to it. Luffy died.
So where's the synchronization,
form.
Lawrence?
That's what I'm saying.
Luffy. That's
what I'm saying. It doesn't make. If you want to go by, if you guys are going by the rule of what Kaido said, Luffy does not follow that rule.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
He uses his ability 24/7 all the time.
Yes.
But no. But
like, how he is. Hold on. If the fruit is the Nika fruit and being free.
Okay.
The way he lives his life is synchronized with that fruit and how he does it.
But then
Kaku being a giraffe, he liked giraffes, yo. Like it's not like a.
He didn't even like his ability at first.
That's not true.
No, he did. He was. They were clowning.
He was
him
happy.
For liking
He
it.
loved it. He loved his ability.
And Luffy had his ability for 12 years.
12 years. What I'm saying is like Luffy. It just seemed like, oh, I use my ability a lot, and oh, it just happened awakened. If you want to go by that. To me, like, do you fully accept that? Because to me, that doesn't fully make sense.
Kaku packed 12 years worth of.
Yo, the only reason.
For use
but the only reason we accepted that was because of everything Luffy has gone through, and also his willpower, and also we don't know what the hell it takes for the Nika to awaken.
Yeah.
That's why. It's not just a basic giraffe, bro. Like it's a mythical Zoan. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, and it's supposed to be rare.
Yeah.
Like Doflamingo straight up said, like, yo. it's rare. Like, yo, people get to this level, they can do this. Like, yo, Kaku just doing it, bro. It takes away from the rarity. It takes away from it being special.
But if you want to go by that, using Conqueror's hockey is rare, but we have kids doing it.
Yo, but that's 1 out of 1,000,000 people, and then we're this late in the game.
Yeah. What is just like, wait, what we're saying is it all depends on that person. And you said you're comparing it to like the Nika, like if you use that, comparing the Nika to the giraffe.
Who's more talented to you, Lawrence? Luffy or Kaku?
Obviously Luffy, but
okay, so who's more talented, Lawrence? Kid or Kaku?
Kid's looking rough. I can't.
Come on, Lawrence. Even if I hate Kid, I know he's more talented than Kaku.
But based on what?
Come on, we're not getting to this, Lawrence. You're just. I understand you want to make excuses as to why. Like,
I'm not
this
making
should be
excuses,
allowed, but this is terrible, right?
No, I'm a logical thinker, so I'm gonna break it down logically.
Yes, logically, we have evidence of probability that most people who have had their devil fruits since children have awakened their devil fruits. And there's been nobody in the entirety of the show that has had their devil fruit for 2 years and just awakened it, with the low exception of hockey that Kaku has.
But you never said that you need hockey to awaken your ability.
No, but you need the willpower for your body and mind to catch up to your devil fruit. That's will. You need to have a will in order to do so.
Lawrence,
the hottest kid
of the awakened devil fruit users, like, what, like 8 of them hockey users, like Conqueror's hockey users? Like, only until we got _ʍ and Kaku was it like a real, like, oh snap.
Then how do you explain Kid then?
Kid has Conqueror's hockey.
Luffy
has Conqueror's hockey. Kaido has Conqueror's hockey.
Where do we see uses of kids hockey at all?
Lawrence, it's supposed to be, if your hockey is of rarity of form, right? Like it's a form of rarity, where you have a specific type of hockey that nobody else has, that means that you can overcome more obstacles than somebody that doesn't, right? So immediately you're put into a category where things are going to be easier for you to do such things as awakening your devil fruit.
Right.
That's the point of evidence of probability. You put that into factor and you're like, okay, I can see why this person would get that. But when you give it to somebody like Kaku, who doesn't have Conqueror's hockey, he doesn't have the adversity of fights in order to prove that the difficulties he went through made him push his limits of his devil fruit to the degree which he can awaken in 2 years, is why we say this is BS. You can't just be like, yo, just because he caught up to his mind and body, caught up to the devil fruit within 2 years from training, fighting nobodies. That makes him available to that option of arsenal in his repertoire. Like, no, bro, like F that.
Yo, even it's just not interesting, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kaku having an awakened, what did we gain from that? What happened? What did he do? He fought Zoro for 2 seconds and got put down by stuff. Like, he could have not been awakened in the same shit. What happened? You know what I'm saying?
Like, this makes
what do we gain?
Not
bro?
only that, it makes Luffy's Gear 5th lackluster now. Like, him awakening doesn't mean anything to me now because Kaku can just do it. Like, _ʍ can just do it. Like, it literally puts awakening at a lower level than we needed it to be. Where it needs to be, yo, not many people attain this, bro. Like, this takes hard work. You're taking away the hard work aspect now. Like, would you be okay that if people didn't just use hard work and they just automatically just awaken?
But you're like, yo, what you guys are saying? It took him 2 years to do it.
Yo, bro, it's 2 years. It's 2 years.
It took Luffy 2 years to catch up to Kaido, supposedly.
Yo, but Luffy had to go through immense training and also have a hockey master tell him what hockey was and how he was using his devil fruit not efficiently.
Luffy didn't catch up to Kaido either, though.
Thank you.
Exactly.
In Luffy's 2 years of training with Rayleigh, 2 years of straight up training with Rayleigh.
6 months.
He couldn't beat Dofi.
He trained for. Thank you, yo.
He couldn't beat Dofi, bro.
But actual hardships and going through stuff, the dude ended up awakening his fruit and gaining all these levels of strength. Kaku, yo, I'm sorry, bro. Yo, if put this way, they rolling with Seraphims with them, and _ʍ with him, and 𝙬𝙀. He's the like 5th dude, bro. He's like the 7th guy right now. So if on any given day, if something pops off with CP0, I got _ʍ, 𝙬𝙀, and multiple Seraphims that are gonna get the heavy workload over me in any real situation, yo. But somehow, some way, I awaken my fruit, bruh. Nah, man.
Now, how do you factor what Vegapunk said into it?
Listen, bro.
What abilities
we were supposed to get the calls. Yo, I hate you, Lawrence.
Yeah, I was thinking like this
is not on me. I just said my thought, and you guys went on this rant on other things. So don't blame me.
Your fault.
listen. There's gonna be people that are just gonna hate me and Seb for just complaining. It happens to me every episode.
I really agree with you a lot on this one.
But it's like, bro, you know, there's certain things in the show in the series that we respect. And one thing about the series is like people work towards certain aspects of, you know, their abilities, and it gives them a hand over others. And I feel like, you know, if Oda himself, which is it's Oda's fault. One, it's not Kaku's fault. It's not Lucci's fault. It's Oda's fault. Oda not giving us a clear answer, which people are gonna be like, well, you just need to be patient and just let Oda cook. What I'm saying is, right now, like the way I feel, since we don't have that explanation just yet, and I'm impatient because the story's so good, it doesn't make sense, like, why you didn't just say, like, you know what? Like, they actually fought the Blackbeard Pirates instead of, like, the Blackbeard Pirates running away, you know, when they did after they attacked, you know, the revolutionary base. Like, they fought the Blackbeard Pirates. I would have been like, you know what? Cool. Like, that's something there. Like, there's people on that ship that they could fight that would be very tough to beat. They would probably have to push their abilities to that extent. But since we don't have that, it's like, okay, like, yo, this is a gumball machine. Like, put a quarter in, somebody's going to have an awakening. Like, what am I supposed to expect now?
All the Blackbeard Pirates about to be awakened, bro.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Yo, exactly.
Like, yo.
That's the point, too,
Yo.
which I'm saying it's a slippery slope, Lawrence. I'm not saying it's not great, but I am saying it's bad because if this does continue to happen, Shiryu just got his ability during the 2-year time.
Awakening, bro.
Awakened.
Why not, yo? His mind,
Why not?
and his body, yo.
Yeah.
They was
like, if I can explain
born
it,
to be invisible.
yeah, if I can explain it as just, yo, they just caught up, mind and body wise.
My mind been caught up. I just ate the fruit, so
Yeah.
I instantly awakened it. By the way,
And then
instantly, my mind and body was caught up.
And you know why?
10 years ago.
And you know why this is such a sour taste? It's because we had over 23,000 soldiers in Kaido's army who literally built his Yonko crew upon beating others in order to get to a certain position, which basically means the more adversity you go through, the stronger your willpower. Also, you get into situations where you have to push your abilities to their max in order to overcome the other person, yet not one single person out of those 23,000 soldiers were awakened.
A lot of them are smiles, though.
Granted, they could be smiles, cool, but none of the ones like Toby Ropo, who were directly challenging Jack for his position, none of them. Like that's the thing about Wano too. It's like King literally said, "Oh, you have kingly ambitions." That's crazy, but he didn't have King's disposition. He didn't have Conqueror's Haki. Then Kaido goes, "I know how Devil Fruit works, but I don't know how to awaken my Devil Fruit."
No,
You get what I'm saying?
No,
There's
that's-
just so
I
many
still think
inconsistencies.
Kaido had
It's
to wake
weird,
up. I just think
bro.
we should have
It's just
seen it.
weird.
No, see
bro.
that stuff I do agree with you. Where Oda's like, you're not making sense here. It's consistent here.
But
what
what
I'm trying to
is
say
that
is
same vein, bro? This is the same vein.
Well, I'm also like, what the show also shows is not one way to acquire things.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing where like prime example, we have the two main characters of the opposing sides, Blackbeard and Luffy. Where they both achieve the things, but one's going about one way and another's going about another way. There's different ways you can achieve certain things in the show, and the show's been showing us that for a while.
But Lawrence, me and Larry both acknowledged that if they got it through some other cheap way, we would accept it.
Yes.
You were trying to say that Kaku got it the natural way, and we should accept that. And we're saying nah, we're not accepting that.
All right. So we got to get through this. We only have 3 minutes left.
Yeah. We got a couple super chats today.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
for
Sorry.
waiting. We were waiting a little bit. But we got gifted memberships, 5 gifted memberships from Nick Quavo. Thank you so much for those of you that were able to get those gifted
Yes,
memberships.
thank you, Nick.
Nick's the man for that one, man. We got a $5 super chat from Black Lightning. It says, Kaku was using his Devil Fruit like he had it for years when he got it. Man, we did a whole lot of Kaku debate here just now. But y'all know our thoughts. We got a $10 super chat from Luffy needs to try some booty meat. It says, just joined the podcast, don't know where y'all at. I wanted to know, do y'all think Kaku getting his awakening is BS? Me and Larry do, for sure. Unless the world government figure out a way to force an awakening, I don't understand. That's where we're leaning to with our minds, because that's the only way I can make it make sense for me, bro. We got another one, $5 from Mr. Bushido56. It says, the past Paul user put rocks soul in Blackbeard's body. Stassi is the 10th commander set to get Kuma's fruit.
I don't like that. But
I don't know.
the
if I
second
like
part, yeah, probably.
Yeah. I don't know if I like any of that. We got another $2 from Mr. Bushido 56. It says, to be fair, a child could beat Larry right now. Not gonna lie.
That's the Seraphim argument you were talking about before.
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Depends on the child, bro. You saw that 2-foot kid that got birthed the other day? Crazy. We got another $5 super chat from Soga King. It says, Larry be having bad takes all the time, but this isn't one. Hashtag #𝙏𝙀𝙪 Larry. We got another $5 from Black Lightning. It says, don't let everyone's awakening distract y'all. That hockey transcends all. Spitting. We got another $2 from Jacob Tiffany. It says, we need a cosplay. Hashtag Seb for Big Ma'am. Y'all gotta chill with that one, yo. Bar Vision was in the chat. We were ranting too much. I didn't even see it. Oh, man. And then we got another 10 from Luffy Needs to Try Some Booty Meat. It says, since Luffy's devil fruit ended up being a mythical Zoan, maybe that's why it took him so long to awaken it. His fruit with normal Zoans, it doesn't really take that long.
Yeah, I've stated this. Like, as soon as we saw, like, what, devil fruit awakenings were with Kaido, and I was saying it, like, that's probably what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But granted, I don't even care. Like, at this point. Like, I think I'm at the point where, like, yo, don't let clone wars happen. Don't let anybody have an awakening, and just keep it a stack, man.
Bro, the
like,
clone theories is wild. They talking about like Zoro's a Ryuma clone. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
what are we gaining from that?
This is what I'm saying.
What are we gaining?
This is what I'm saying. Like, I kind of anticipated it, but like Vegapunk almost breaks the story with what can be done the same way Toki could. Like, Toki was able to, tell us about the Void Century, which would break the story a little bit, but it was just like, it was done properly. So I hope that Oda sticks to it the same way he did with Toki regarding, like, Vegapunk and everything that's being said regarding, like, the awakenings, the cloning, all that stuff. Like, please do not get out of control, bro. Because if it does, it can make this arc go from, like, a 10 to, like, a 5 real quick. 5 real quick. But other than that, we're out of time. Everybody, if you haven't liked the video, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video. It does us a great deal. If you haven't joined our Discord, we are having our new Davies Dark Tournament happening this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. It would be the mid-tier tournament. No more high tiers. No more Kaido and Big Mom debates. It is going to be mid-tiers, like Kobe versus Virgo and stuff like that. So be here for that. Also, I do have a new theory video on my personal channel. It's titled, Why the Ancient Kingdom Needed to Be Wiped Out. It was amazing. Video in the description below as well. And also, my name is Larry.
Lawrence.
Lionel. Seb.
And this is that One Piece Talk.
Oh, my bad.